and they have to have it blindable. Zoe and Orianna are two blind picks. Orianna is something PowerOfEvil has been good at in the past. There we go.
All right, it's going to end up being his first Orianna of the split, but as you mentioned, yeah, has played this champion plenty times before. So now it is time for the answer in the mid lane. Syndra going away, of course, is the most typical answer to Orianna. That was banned way long ago, and FlyQuest, I think, felt pretty comfortable with Orianna as a result. Golden Guardians, what do they want to play for themselves? They got the Blitz hover. I enjoy that. I enjoy when you hover someone else's hover. You go for the Zoe here for GoldenGlue.
Yeah, that was one where Zoe is something that a lot of teams are willing to blind pick anyway, but Orianna is not necessarily something that jumps out at you for having a lot of hard counters. Sometimes people want to play something like Yasuo into it, but GoldenGlue couldn't do that for team composition reasons. They'd have all physical damage, so I could accept the Zoe pick here.
Yep, gonna look pretty good overall. Do want to point out that even though Set is sort of a bruiser champion, it's actually pretty easy for him to go into tank. Keep in mind that W does true damage in the middle, so Stoneblade doesn't mitigate that at all. You still get the 700 damage punch. So yeah, full tank Set. You can stack the armor if it was gonna be a Yasuo or something else. Makes total sense there. Of course, we know Rakan and Rek'Sai can put out enough gold and itemization as well. And so the comps are locked in. No big flex picks here overall. But we are seeing, of course, a Noah Felios game, and Senna was skipped over in the draft.
Yeah, it does look relatively standard in terms of not seeing surprise champions in the draft, but I would say FlyQuest looked to have a pretty darn strong 5v5, Set Orianna with a high potential for comboing, as well as Zyra Khan just having that strong team fight footprint. And Golden Guardians, I think, will have to be able to have like a pretty strong 20 minutes and maybe get some dragons to play around in late game if they want to win this one.
Yeah, it's going to be hard, I think, to also find good Misfortune Ultimates. You don't have a lot of that really great AoE power control, unless Thresh gets a really, really nice Q2 into the box and locks the whole squad down, but can still put out some decent damage. But my eyes are definitely on WildTurtle for being a big performer here in this game as really good backline damage. FBI, of course, has not been a slouch either. Golden Guardians tweeted out a bunch of stats season long for FBI, and he's like top 2 in a whole bunch of stuff.
Yeah, Golden Guardians is performing at a high level, especially compared to preseason expectations. Have a chance to tie for second with a win here.
Yeah, and this is not one of those like, oh, your schedule was easy, tie for second. This is the end of the first round robin. You played every other team once and are tied for second if Golden Guardians win this one. FlyQuest on that side would be alone in second with no hopes of anyone catching them if they close out this with a win. And that says, hey, I played everyone once, and I have the best record aside from Cloud9.
Yeah, I mean, looking around the world, there is a lot of parity right now. Like, aside from Cloud9, who is at least 3 losses, going on 4 losses ahead of every other team, you look at the LEC, which just wrapped up their Week 5, they have 6 teams within 1 game of each other, between 1st and 6th. There is a lot of teams playing each other close early on, and the LCS is no different here.
WildTurtle and FBI, unknowing to each other, actually dancing off.
Yeah.
Mirroring each other's movements.
They'll see the VOD.
Yeah. I imagine that's something you point out in VOD review. I don't think it's important enough, but, you know, it would be worth knowing.
Good wiggling.
Yeah, well done. That was a CLG game. That was way back.
So, to be funny, like, I mean, to be serious, wiggling like that in the brush is better than not wiggling in the brush.
That's true.
It means you're already moving in a direction, like when a skill shot happens, and makes it harder to land stuff on you.
Absolutely the case.
Almost never happens.
Almost never matters, true. But sometimes that like 1 in 500 thing that you do ends up being a really big difference. And it was that 500th game. And that was the Game 5 of the World Championship or something. Who knows, you know? Like every once in a while, you get something big. But this is...
Yeah, Santorin started Wolves, not Blue, because it's faster for Rek'Sai and still gives him quick experience. If he wants to do like the fastest level 3 on Rek'Sai, he'll do Wolves, Red, Krugs, and then be able to gank bot in like a few seconds faster than maybe Golden Guardians would be expecting.
Well, this is going to be a pretty easy red buff kill. Blue is being skipped, as you mentioned, and yeah, not looking for the level 2 gank, I don't think, but on Burrows and the Krugs, and yeah, a lot of gold XP on this camp if you take the entire thing. That was changed in 10.3. Those small Krugs have a lot of gold on them. Yeah,
and specifically red side against Rek'Sai is really hard. Mickey was talking about this when he cast some of the LEC match. Because of the size of that wall down there, Rek'Sai just can gank you from so many different angles, and it's really difficult to ward him out. So Santorin definitely looking to play around that bot side.
And Closer taking down the rest of these chickens down here, gotta say. Fairly similar camps done as Closer finishes the entire top set of his jungle. And there comes the attempted flash engage. Nice flash away for FBI. Keith plays back, but Santorin saw that one coming, so hey, that's flash for flash. Good reflex on FBI.
Really quick reactions there by FBI. Kind of knew that, hey, there's a Rek'Sai here, we got to be careful. The closer isn't actually in position to cover yet, but Santorin can't know that and kind of has to back away while FBI really wants to stick around to get this cannon CS.
All right, does end up being flash for flash overall, though I'd argue MS Flash is really, really valuable here.
Yeah.
And they can look to fight for the Scuttle Crab. Now, both junglers are level 3. Despite the one camp lead for Closer wearing a blue buff, that's not that important as Hauntzer can't quite get the damage in a Viper as top is pushed in. And if Hauntzer CS as well, should be tying up that farm.
Kind of interesting evaluating this early game of like where should Santorin go? Because on one hand, yes, you have the Zyrakan Rek'Sai, but like set plus X tower dives are just really, really good. One of the reasons his priority is so high, because he can push in and out-trade almost everyone early.
Speaking of.
Or just threaten a solo kill. Like imagine if a Rek'Sai's up there now. Well, actually, no flash on FBI.
Damage on to Keith. Good job by FBI getting away from all the Roots potential, though, as they finally do jump back to each other. But that Guardian Shield actually blocked nothing. FBI was done fighting.
So Closer's coming in for a gank bottom, whereas Rek'Sai's thinking about a gank top. No flashes on AD carry or support.
Minor farm lead for FBI and Keith down here as that wave gets manicured down. And they know with that recent sweeper usage that Closer is not seen. If Santorin's there, that fight is lost by FlyQuest. Closer helps to make sure that they're going to be safe. They're going to go for the flash flame backwards, but a double root over the top. The knock him as well. The ignite is on, and first blood comes through. Trade it back, but Closer is going to die. And that is a 2-for-1 to FlyQuest.
A little bit aggressive there by Golden Guardians. I can see that they were feeling confident because they had an Aftershock Thresh and 3 versus 2, but they don't actually have that much damage with a Doran's Blade and a Longsword. So watching it one more time, like before they went for the dive, I was thinking, oh, he's just making sure they can shove in because FBI is going to go back to base and get damage. But instead, see, like double ups even on cooldown from FBI when they go for this.
Turtle's at half?
Yeah, they exhaust Turtle. It is a really good double knockup, which slows down the damage, but I don't really see a situation where that's not at least a 1-for-1 trade, which usually means it's not worth the dive. Can understand that Golden Guardians wanted to punish the flashless Rakan, but definitely an overreach there.
It felt like the second time I've seen today where the support took exhaust, but it felt like they played like they had ignite. I saw there was a trade in, I think, the first game of the day where there was an all-in against the Rakan who like had all of his blinks available, and they're like, I'll exhaust you so you can't move. It's like, okay, well, I hit E backwards. Like, I don't need to walk. And here's a tower dive where you exhaust the Xayah, who's like stun-locked anyway. And, you know, takes summoner heal and, you know, lives a little bit longer. Like, that felt like the play you'd do with Ignite.
Yeah.
And exhaust was not very useful there.
Definitely happens more than you think.
Yeah.
Like, summoner choices are very ingrained in muscle memory, and Ignite's been the support meta for like a couple years. But on next patch, exhaust actually lasts a little bit longer, so maybe teams are already starting to switch back over.
Now Closer's in a lot of danger right now. Gets a smite, but knocked up twice. A lot of damage here. Zoe's around, and a nice ward hop brings him to safety.
Yeah, but now they can threaten dive on bot. Flashless on both FBI and Keith, but unable to push the wave in. Good job by FBI and Keith down bot to actually make the wave not be at their tower.
Yeah, the problem is, though, you can see the recall difference, right? The fact that WildTurtle got one of those kills and the assist on the other means his recall was far, far better despite the farm difference. BF Sword versus double longsword, you know, Doran's Blade obviously not really close at all. Anytime you see this lane, you just know we never take any trades. You always play the back foot. This is permanent lane control for FlyQuest until you equalize the BF Sword. Yeah,
which means Santorin can turn straight for Mountain Drake. And now the question will become, how quickly do they set up Rift? Like, it gets easier for FlyQuest here. If this bottom lane can stay pushed up, it means they can always be the first people to reset for 8 minutes when they run out this way. So that's actually why you see Closer already counter jungling and getting some deep vision in, because it's going to be really hard for Golden Guardians to match this Rift Herald swap, and if FlyQuest does it right, they could start running away with the game.
Well, Closer right now is top side here, and maybe he gets to help out with Viper. The ulti was used by Hauntzer. They can find some decent damage, but yeah, really no actual gank to be had unless Viper gets a little...
I don't even know.
I think he's trying to bait the Q, right? He's like, I walked, I didn't though.
Yeah.
Are you there?
Eyes have kind of been on Viper. He hasn't looked great on things that aren't Riven. He's getting frozen by Hauntzer here, but he's also kind of okay with it because
nice ward.
Hauntzer has no ult if we ever do see a Rift Herald fight.
but it means he's bleeding farm right now and might have to burn TP without, if he doesn't want to lose like 2 waves, that's going to be TP burned.
He can actually just run bot. So like he can recall now, run bot, and if there is a Rift Herald fight, he can TP up to it. If not, he gets free farm in bottom lane. And see, that's exactly what they're doing. If we look at the minimap, like you can see Set already running up bot lane, the rest of the team running straight towards this Rift Herald. So that is the play for FlyQuest, and it's hard to match by Golden Guardians, right? They're leaving their bottom lane, so they're losing out on farm down there.
Yeah.
And Hauntzer has no ult.
Yeah. FBI matches the recall. He's a little bit afterwards on it, and they both grab Berserker's Greaves, but that BF sword difference, of course, is still there. You still don't want to take almost any fight that involves WildTurtle. Only difference being that it is flashed down on the Xayah, but with ult, you get away from almost any meaningful crowd control. Any meaningful dive attempts either. So I still don't like the 2-on-2. It's still lane pressure.
Yeah.
Like, this probably still turns into Herald. I wonder if it's worth Golden Guardians like saying, you know what, screw it, we're gonna stay duo bot lane because we can at least push Set and like try to trade turrets.
I think that is definitely something you could try with the MF Thresh, or when they saw Viper down there, at least 5v5ing at Rift Herald, but that just has the chance of being super disastrous if the TP is matched. What they've done now by sending Hauntzer bot with no TP is they concede Rift Herald. They don't lose a huge amount of CS and like the disaster scenario is gone, but that 800 gold lead is going to turn into 1.3k pretty soon.
You can see Santorin gets around to the eye finally, does do a little bit more there. GoldenGlue finds some poke though, and that is maybe enough to stop it all. Barrier used from Spell Thief, but over the call is Rakan, gets his own flash, jumps back with a lantern, and GoldenGlue's alive as Viper has Jason as well. Here comes a hook, and actually pretty good numbers here, and a drowsy WildTurtle could be danger. FBI's got to walk away though. That punches a whole lot, but stays alive on the misfortune side as Santorin goes right back into the Herald pit and keeps fighting Heraldine down there. No one dies.
GoldenGlue is just a wild card. They're outnumbered, but he lands so much damage on Santorin, he starts the fight. Hauntzer's actually walked up from bottom lane to match the TP 30 seconds later, and that Herald is angry.
PoE is ulti-less, and that's maybe a small thing for Golden Guardians here, but they do manage to stop the Herald play. They bleed the teleport out of Viper, and I mean, Hauntzer keeps his CS lead, and Top got closer to equalizing.
And now, Hauntzer's going to have TP advantage on Viper, which means FlyQuest can't actually do it. What a fascinating series of events. Nice
Keep running. Yep, Moby's now down, but can't be caught anyway. And I think a lot of that is predicated on GoldenGlue finding that first poke and then managing to take Barrier and take Flash and get the hell away.
Yeah, the escape was something else, actually. Yeah. Just like double flash over the Raptor wall to avoid Viper's flank and IgNar's flank. IgNar had like amazing teamfight positioning. That was so close. So close to being just a wipe for Golden Guardians, but instead, they actually gain some CS tempo and prevent Rift from going down.
And you mentioned the gold difference being 800 when Herald was started. The gold difference now is only 3. Oh no, he missed! That's not in the brush!
The control ward?
Yeah! It's definitely not in the brush. That is a feeling I know very well as someone who has to ward lanes. Now WildTurtle still has ulti though, gets exhausted. There's the ult finally coming down. Keith! Oh, that's so much damage! Yeah. A solo kill in the 1v2 for WildTurtle.
Burns everything, but worth. 100% worth. Keith was trying to do that sweet outplay of like, ooh, I know he's coming out while my hook's landing, but isn't necessarily looking at his own health bar there.
You can see, this is, by the way, I want to point something out. Well, we got this going on right here, though, the quick replay is Turtle.
Exhaust him for the slow, I think. Yeah?
Yeah.
But, also the fact that the turret just tipped on Keith, that's a whoopsie.
That is a misplay right there. So this graphic, by the way, I want to point out, this is why I think gold difference is a way better stat than CS difference. Because Closer went and got a kill and did some stuff, right? So even though he's down in farm, he's actually done a lot of stuff for the squad. Has had a very eventful early game. Okay, that dive was a little, XD, maybe we'll say, because it was 2 kills. But IgNar now going to find a teammate, and Keith, that's going to be ISO death number 4. Can he get back? Okay, he gets the squad, but it's still a death coming through. The kick doesn't do a whole lot of much. And Keith definitely overstayed onto that one, but there might be a re-engage. Nah, it's not going to be any good.
We may have cast or cursed Keith a little bit in the pregame.
You know, maybe. He's 0-3.
Yeah. This is looking more like week 1 or 2 Keith and less like week 3, 4 Keith. So far, at least in the past little sequence of events, he'll need to find a way to kind of untilt a little bit here, because this is a hard game, right? They're against a Rek'Sai who can see you even if they don't have wards. And also, the overall team comp for Golden Guardians, it is really hard for them to actually manufacture fights. So Keith is going to have to press a little bit, but he can't make plays like happened up in the top lane or have those deaths where the other team doesn't need to actually sacrifice that much to get you.
Yeah, a couple of oversteps, unfortunately, and that is, you know, the aggression sometimes a bit more than he needed as PowerOfEvil clears the mid lane once again. He's got to have a lot of money on himself. Yeah, 2,500 as he goes for the recall. It's going to be a nice power spike in there, as we'll probably see the Luden's Echo or something similar. Boom. It's like he built the standard mid lane item that everyone always buys. How could he have known? Nice bit of knock up there as Viper regens about 700 health per second and goes back to full.
Yeah, Hauntzer needs to keep this pressure up because not much else is working for Golden Guardians right now. Even when they get to teamfight phase, as we mentioned before, it's going to be tough. This is very much in the control of FlyQuest right now with the 2 Drake lead as well as having the gold and actually being able to threaten, at least threaten this Rift Trail. It's not on vision, so they have to kind of face check to get in there. Even if Hauntzer could TP in, they have nowhere to go.
Well, it's going to be a pretty clean hero pickup this time around. 14 minutes in, so no plates to crack, but a turret in and of itself still obviously valuable. 650 total with the first turret gold on top, and that's going to be, you know, about half of the gold lead they already have right now. So pretty good extension there if they make it one happen. There's a double up, and Closer's waiting in case there's something aggressive. Of course, sadly for him, he's sitting on a ward.
I wonder if we're going to see any PoE specials on Orianna this game. Because he used to be the guy who had, just misses those, good ward. PoE used to be the guy that did the Nashor's Orianna. He also used to be like a lot of Ages Orianna, other stuff. This will likely just get the turret. Luden's is a very standard open, so I don't really know if there's much deviation to have from there.
Sadly, I think we're not going to get it.
Yeah, I always got to keep my eye out for PoE with weird builds.
I mean, we've seen, well, he had a Cinder game, right, where he was, okay, there's a fight, we gotta wait for that one. There's DP in as well. This is Golden Guardians going for broke, charmed up, knocked up, but there could be a nice engage. The flay onto 2! Bullet time over the top, at least a kill picked up, but it cost them a lot of summoner spells for that play.
Yeah, Turtle didn't have mana to ult either throughout the end of that. Oh, GoldenGlue!
Woo! PoE with the solo kill!
Big time play by PoE. Everything gets invested up top, but now the map pressure is totally gone. Not only does PoE still have a lot of resources after that kill, Viper has the free time to push bottom after Hauntzer teleports. So FlyQuest get even further in the lead.
Looking like sole control of second place is about to come in for FlyQuest here as they move towards 6 and 3.
Let's see how PoE pulls this off. So he has the mid lane pushed. And he says, GoldenGlue, you can't walk over there. GoldenGlue, buddy. Can't walk over there.
Flash like the whole time. Thinks heals enough, it's not. If he could have flashed the chicken pit at any point in time, thought he had the health.
Yep. Misplay by GoldenGlue for sure.
Yeah. All right, Jat.
Yeah.
Do you want to talk about Morellonomicon and Leandries and Haunting Guys versus Oblivion Orb?
That's all you, buddy.
Okay.
I do want to hear it, though. I know you've been doing a lot of math.
I spent like 4 hours yesterday starting to math out ability power ratios and stuff. I'm not done. Essentially, the short part here is Haunting Guys versus Oblivion Orb. Similar cost, similar stats. The TLDR is if your opponents have like under 40-ish magic resist, which is like any ranged champion without buying MR, Oblivion Orb is better. Assuming you're playing a fight so long that your Haunting Guys has the full 10% damage amp. If you're not playing, you know, a 4-second long team fight, restacking the damage, then Oblivion Orb is better at like 70 MR. Yeah.
Do you want to hear current MR values from top to support? Hauntzer, 44, Closer, 41, GoldenGlue, 42, FBI, 34, and then Keith with the no magic is at 57.
Okay, so right now, if you snapshot the game, which is not fair for all cases, Oblivion Orb is objectively a better item for PowerOfEvil.
Yeah, he'll just do more damage in all cases.
Yep. But as time goes on, Leandries is arguably a better item than Morellonomicon in a lot of cases, and you can kind of go on from there. But the red buff sadly resets, lassoed back into the pit.
Yeah, so you think right now the Oblivion Orb is just a better choice for PoE?
Yeah, if you were to like, we fight it for 17 minutes and the game ends, like then, you know, that's a very simple and oversimplified situation.
Yeah.
But I would also say you're against an Aatrox and 2 summoner heals.
Yeah.
There's actually a reasonable case for the Morello's Grievous Wounds also being a good build into.
I can totally see it.
Well, top lane under a lot of fire as WildTurtle does have to duck the aggro for a second, but no one's even on this side of the map right now. It's a late recall for Zoe, so FlyQuest getting more out of the game. There is something going Golden Guardian's way, which is this Cloud Drake being taken down. There's no pressure there at all. I would take the Cloud Drake over the turret because that would put you on soul point. I think it was 8 minutes a game. No, but 18 minutes in, I would do this if I was FlyQuest. I would have liked, again, them to be on the bottom side, but they do get some more gold. They are pushing their lead. It's 3,500 up.
Yeah, I think that is always an easy thing to say from like spectator client with our current view. Taking a turret for one Cloud Drake in itself is like, FlyQuest is now further ahead than they were a minute ago. But in 5 minutes, they will be
more ahead.
Yeah, if they would have just taken the Drake. That's always going to be this like mid-game trade-offs when you're approaching these overall Drake things. And like when we still look at these team comps, like the set Orianna Xayah as the scales in the late game is going to be really good.
That's a pullback. That's a cute landing. They might have the damage to do some stuff to Vipers. The Q is going to land. The big punch comes in, and it forces Viper's flash to get away. Still, only about half HP. There's no redive there for Golden Guardians. You can see the elements are there. If Flash is down next time, maybe that's a kill.
So tanky, and Golden Guardians just trying to generate these plays. No.
Oh, that hook! The hook was so good! Takes them around the map, and it finally comes through. Hauntzer on the scoreboard for number 2.
That's an amazing hook.
Yeah.
By Keith. Huge play right there. And they're able to, I think, get back to mid-turret before it dies as well. So they're going to need a lot of those, Freak, going into these next Drakes to start preventing this Cloud Soul from coming through from FlyQuest, but still a good play nonetheless.
And as the mid lane is now being cleared yet again by PowerOfEvil, who feels very safe. Highest CS of the game by a lot. 2 kills for the team as well. Here comes that play again, right in front of a ward.
Yeah, Keith walks straight over ward with his Moby boots, and then, whoo! Mid-tunnel, and then a kick for good measure to get him closer to the rest of the team. Good night, Santorin.
Yeah, I think that kick was to try to preempt the possible flash, because as soon as the hook lands, flash to the wall, he's safe. And so you try to time your kick around the time that Death Sentence ends, and that way there's never time for flash. Just the threshold like follows through the whole time, just like riding the lasso, like there's a bull out of control. And they get the kill over, nicely done by the whole squad. But it's still a lot of gold to work back from FlyQuest. 3-0 on turrets. They're still up the Drake. They're up 3,000 gold. Still looking like that push towards second place for the team. We'll see. Leandri's tournament, of course, now done for the Orianna. Again, good if your fights are going to be fairly long. And now we can see what the next little move might be. Living, by the way, very correct on Zoe. She's very short fight.
Yep.
Right? You never have time to amp the damage. You're doing single pokes. Oh, that's a big shockwave. That's FBI! Oh, almost opened up in the mid lane.
Now, would he be dead with the Morellos right there?
Pretty sure, yeah.
Yeah.
Outright dead with Morellos. Because he's used Summoner Heal.
No. Not only would they have reduced the healing, it would have had higher upfront damage.
Yeah. Grievous Wounds is like 112 true damage against Summoner Heal.
Yeah.
Which is like what the full Leandri's Burn does in and of itself.
Sweet. Either way.
Yeah.
You live with the consequences of your choices.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
It does give him better poke, right? If he's landing a single Q and walking away, Leandri's a good poke item.
Like the QW over and over again is going to do more damage.
Yeah. But if you're trying to one-shot somebody, you know, that's the build. All right. It's all about backline versus frontline. The math roughly lines up to be fairly true in that regard. As Golden Guardians now back out on the map, looking to control a little bit of this bottom river. We've got about a minute and a half till the second Cloud Drake spawns as Golden Guardians stack up their ult cooldowns. It's not useful for the Zoe very much, but everyone else not too bad. As Keith puts some wards over the wall, they take the bottom scuttle. That'll despawn about the time that the Drake comes up, so not going to mean too much overall, but Golden Guardians trying to find their place to stand.
I know we've been going on about items a lot, but I do find it interesting how there is Leandri's on PoE and then 2 different healing reduction items on Viper. The Bramble Vest and the Executioner's Calling. I don't think that's necessary.
Yeah, I tend
almost
to agree.
Ever.
Because neither item is gold efficient by itself, right? You're paying for Grievous Wounds, which in some cases you're not getting value out of.
The Bramble Vest argument is interesting because it's like, that's kind of passive Grievous Wounds, whereas Executioners is more active Grievous Wounds because you're choosing who to apply it to rather than just applying it to the people that hit you.
Sure.
But yeah, the Trinity Force I agree with, for sure. And getting kind of back to the game, 40 seconds to Cloud Drake, I don't know how Golden Guardians get vision. Like, they need to get some type of pick or like...
Yeah.
Does Keith have enough gold for...
He has pickaxe money.
Yeah, Keith doesn't quite have enough for Stoneplate yet, I don't think.
Oh, yeah. Sorry, my brain's...
Yeah.
Keith, 80
Sorry.
carry.
Yeah,
Let's
know,
look
right?
at FBI's items.
Right? Stoneplate will be really big here, but the stopwatch might end up buying a lot of crucial time. Stopwatch watch. Yeah. There's 3 of them in the game, so Santorin, Closer, and Keith all have the ability to buy a bit more time.
He's a couple hundred gold short.
Yeah, I think Golden Guardians get this up.
Yeah, they had gotten that Scuttle Crab, so a lot of that is FlyQuest kind of waiting around that vision. I mean, the Rick's up right now, and I think actually Zai's doing it in full sight. Just doesn't care that Golden Guardians knows because they can't do anything about it. So they get the vision. Doesn't mean much, and we go to Soul Point here for FlyQuest.
Yep, 5 minutes delayed because of the Cloud Trait the Golden Guardians picked up while FlyQuest were taking their top lane turret.
But complete control the same.
Yeah.
End of the day, can't really complain if you win regardless. Good little smite comes through for Closer. And definitely does look like FlyQuest are in complete control. We're seeing, you know, little glimmers. There's single kills coming through once in a while, but it often costs so many cooldowns that there's never any follow-up. It's just 400 gold and then the reset. Nice blue up, picked up there with PowerOfEvil. Now a knockup means even more damage. Hauntzer is gonna, you know, slap him one more time, but really doesn't matter.
Angrily lash out at the duo that stole his blue buff.
Fair. I would probably too, but sadly for him, there's not much more that can be done but land a Q that gets regen back up over time. GoldenGlue now on a little split push duty, knocking down some of these minions, and, you know, will at least chip away at that turret because he pushed the minion wave in, but he won't even attack the turret once.
While we've been talking about Leandries and Morelos, PoE has just been killing every minion.
Yeah.
278 CS. Gonna hit 285 after this wave before 25 minutes. Actually sitting on 2,500 gold.
Yeah. Without looking, maybe you already did, how much more gold does he have than everyone at home just guessed? Well, too late.
Yeah, don't look at the task screen.
It was meant to be meant to be a jet stat kind of thing where it's like, quick, I'll give you a hint. It's more than 2,000.
Yeah, he's rich.
Yeah. So he's clapping right now. PoE, we highlighted him in the pregame. Very much deservedly so.
Yeah.
And through the mid lane, and honestly, a lot of these lanes, FlyQuest doing a really good job. And they're 3 minutes away from Cloud Soul. A lot of movement speed makes it even easier to engage, and even easier to kite away from anything the Golden Guardians tries to do. Big chunk, by the way, taking out a GoldenGlue in the top lane. He went to defend a wave, and that didn't go so well for him. As top is shoved in, and we know top tier 2 is already dead anyway.
Very rough game for GoldenGlue. I think definitely looking back, need better answers to blind pick Orianna. I don't know what the answer to that is, but it's definitely worth working on. The Zoe has been incredibly ineffective for him thus far.
Yeah. And I think FlyQuest's going to play a fairly slow game for the next 2.5 minutes. I think that the game plan is, hey, don't give away Baron, but we don't need to start it for any obvious reasons. I mean, they can if the position arises, but I think it's a very easy bet to go for Dragon Soul. But now they're going to find a hook. They're going to find a very good cleanse, and Keith does have to flash to get away. I think that could have been lethal on him with the follow-through. Yeah. So flash for cleanse.
With level 16 recently completed Void Staff.
Yeah.
Leandries, Lute, and Zori. That shockwave would have done everything.
We're doing a whole lot right there. Also want to point out, by the way, Sork Shoes would also be better than Void Staff in terms of like spending 1,000 gold on Magic Pen.
Probably on any target except for Keith, because Keith has a lot of MR from the Stone Plate.
Sure, yes. Keith actually is fairly tanky, but for anyone else, again, if you're, whatever. We've talked about that topic enough. We can move on.
I think there's not much else happening in the game.
Okay.
So what's your break point?
The break point for Void Staff being better than just buying Blasting Wands, which by the way is already bad, is they have to have more than like 70-something magic resist.
Yep.
And that's like, even if they don't have Sork Shoes and stuff, like that breakpoint goes even farther if they do have any flat pen in the build. So really, it's like Void Staff is actually just not useful here. Literally just like 2 more Blasting Wands is actually a better build path. And again, that's actually suboptimal in any other comparative case. GoldenGlue, though, has to be a little respectful. As here comes the squad of Flay backwards, but still a knock up on a Keith. Rooted up, and that's going to be a lot of damage. Tries to get away. Shockwave, though, pulls in Closer. 1 for 0. Gets some damage, but a big root comes over the top. Hauntzer tries to buy some time, but not nearly enough. The dunk, the flash, the pullback, and it's a whole lot in for Viper. Golden Guardians forced to run. It's a 1 for 3 in favor of FlyQuest.
Big play from Viper at the end of that fight after his jungler had gone down. It looked like Hauntzer was trying to make noise, right? He's been farming all this time, 260 CS, flies in the team fight. But going back to the start of this, yes, Keith gets the hook, but then IgNar does kind of this nice reinitiation, and sure, they get Santorin, but Shockwave takes Closer so low, pops a stopwatch, and nice root through by Turtle at the end there. great job by Viper being able to secure that last kill as well.
Chase through pretty easy, and we know that Drake's coming up in just a second after that fight as well, so it's going to be really pretty easy for FlyQuest to get a nearly game-ending buff, infinite duration, 10% bonus movement speed, and then a bunch more when you press R, and that's going to come up in 15 seconds. And the last time around, we knew Golden Guardians could come nowhere near that side of the river. This time around, they might have to try.
Yeah, and the flash check on Golden Guardians is bad against Shockwave right now. Only closer has flash available. So going into a control-warded space, really sketch.
No stopwatches either, just the stone plate, which is only going to be so much with 2,000 health. And
watch the flank, good control ward.
Okay, there's the knockup though, puts on the F-Shock as well, but now Keith's going to be down that Keystone for about 20 seconds.
I'm a little surprised that WildTurtle isn't just hitting it, but yeah, now they'll turn, because they can just kill it so quickly.
Keith has to lead the way in without Aftershock. Lands a Q, but they couldn't even go onto the support, so if you're going to...
Yeah. They don't know where anyone is.
Yeah, and the flinch comes through, they walk away. Dragon Soul now on FlyQuest, and this might just be an easy re-engage. They got movement speed, they've got crowd control. FlyQuest may just take the fight because they can take it. Aftershock should be back up for Keith, but he's at half HP. He's an easy target at this point.
Yeah, just get back mid-priority. Keep trying to poke onto Keith, who needs to be near the front because no one else on Golden Guardians can start fights.
Charm, double knockup, Shockwave is 2 kills already. IgNar's a bit low, but shouldn't be knocked down either. It's going to be walking away pretty safely. A double kill now for PowerOfEvil as 3 members of Golden Guardians are dead. Mid lane tier 2 drops as well, and Golden Guardians have GoldenGlue and Closer. Their base is about to be closed as well as the fiddle is being pushed in. The inhibitor is down, and FlyQuest not showing signs of stopping either. Sole control of second place as they close out their first round robin. FlyQuest going to 6-3, dropping Golden Guardians here. Only 3 teams can take them down so far. The Nexus will fall, and FlyQuest gets sole control of second place with a convincing win over Golden Guardians.
FlyQuest keep getting it done. The biggest surprise storyline, I think, FlyQuest and Immortals in competition early on in this spring split, but one team is alone in second, and that is FlyQuest. This game was very interesting in the sense that I like the draft, and they just kind of slowly controlled it throughout. I mean, PoE, you're going to look at the stat sheet afterwards, and it's just going to look ridiculous. 340 CS in a sub-30-minute game, still managed to pick up 5 kills, had 75% kill participation, and I'm sure he actually did a lot of damage with the way he was landing shockwaves in all these fights. So FlyQuest has just got to keep building on this positivity because they are grooving in this spring split.
Yep, planting another couple 100 trees for that one as well. 100 for the win and a good, 20-something for all the kills. Sadly, I think for them, nary an Ocean Drake in that. But regardless, hey, I think 2020 has so far been a huge win for FlyQuest all around. In love with what they've been doing. Golden Guardians, sadly for them, of course, do pick up a loss here. They move to 4 and 5. That does still place them in 6th, I do believe. So, I mean, this is still a team that record-wise, first round robin, is in playoff position. Keep that going for another, 5